Well, boys, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning out. And we're here at the John Deere dealership. We're picking up our combines. Things took a whole month to complete. And the keys are in it. We're going to have to open the gate here. Up button. And we're going to hop in our combine. It should crank. And she fires. So they ended up replacing the feeder box on her. That's the thing that was wrong with her. This is going to run me around $1,000. And the rest of the money, we got around $1,446. So we're just going to pull our combine out right here. And then we're actually going to go back into the dealership and see if we can rent a header to cut Milo. Because today, we're going to start cutting Milo. Kind of forgot to close the door. Let's close that real quick. Looking at some of these headers. This right here, this is something we could lease. A 6-meter corn head. I'm not sure. I think that might be 20 feet. We can lease it for $1,000. $200 per day. Or if we come down here, we can lease the same thing but much cheaper. And I think we can make it late model. I think we're gonna do something like this for much cheaper, $318. And we lease this, and it should be here later today. It's 11 o'clock now. I just got an email from the John Deere dealership. They said our header has been shipped. So we're gonna go pick that up with the combine and head over to our Milo fields. We're pulling out of John Deere with our header, and we're going to head over to field. Let's take a look here. We're going to head over to field 84 first, get that field out of the way. But first, we're going to have to swing by our house, pick up our truck, head over to our farm, and pick up an auger cart with the 7810. We made it back to the farm, and that's not our Milo, but I bet that's some pretty tall Milo. I bet that's yielding pretty good. Whoever owns that. So where's the 7810? It's not in here. It's not under the awning. Bro, that scared me. I thought this thing got stolen. But I did leave it in the cold storage, so it's gonna take a little while to warm up. So while we're warming that up, I'm gonna go check on the auger and make sure everything's working good on that. It appears to be working just fine. The PTO seems to be working pretty good. Everything else on it, this auger back here, I climbed up there earlier. That seems to be working. I think when the 7810 gets warm, we're gonna attach it to this and head back over to field. What's that field called? Field 84. Right? Attach it, and we're gonna get headed over to that field. And we arrived, and that looks awesome, man. Not a single weed in here besides dead ones. And now we gotta run all the way back to the John Deere dealership, which is in town over there. Sorry, I'm breathing so heavy. Man, I really need to hire a farmhand. I've not ran that far, and not ever since high school athletics, man. Gosh dang. Cranking the air up all the way in here. I don't even think it works that good, but I don't know how I'm sweating from that. That wasn't even half a mile. That wasn't even a quarter mile, I don't think, man. I'm way out of shape. I need to hold back on the Jack Lanks and Whataburger, man. Oh, gosh. Anyway, this combine has absolutely no grain extension on the top of it, so this thing is gonna get full really quick. Just pull into the field here. This air conditioning is not working. I'm still sweating. Man, I guess that's what I deserve for buying a combine that was abandoned in 2005. But we're gonna get this thing unfolded, and this field's yield should be amazing. If it's not amazing, we might be in some serious trouble here. Let's turn on the combine. Oh my gosh. This thing is quite the opposite of Cadillac, but at least it runs. Alright, let's start combining here. 62, 84% yield. Okay, yields at 84. That is awesome. 94%, 92%. This is the outside of the field. This is not even the inside. Who knows what the inside could be? Hold on, let's pull up the little monitor here. Let's go to yield. This is this year's yield so far, and all this was last year's yield when I paid people to cut this. This is my first year farming, man, and this yield already seems a ton better. We need to hire someone or lease a semi ASAP because I am already missing Milo. Only having an auger wagon slows down harvest a ton. So as soon as we start making some money, we might look at leasing a semi. Look on the top of my cab there, you see Starfire. So we should be able to turn on some steering assist here. Turn that on. Boom. We got steering assist. That should help it a ton. Guys, from one pass, we're already about a quarter tank full. That is awesome. While we're rolling here, let's check out the yield. Yeah, yield has improved a lot. We already got some green here. And I don't even think I can wait anymore. I'm going to pull it back, and I'm going to do a pass right down the middle to see what the yield is. It might not be the smartest idea, but I really cannot contain my curiosity any longer. So we're going to get on this line right here, and we're just going to do a pass right down the middle to see how our yield's doing. 75%. Still 75%. 77, 78. Back down to 75. It's like this the whole field. It's not the end of the world, but it's not the greatest. And this year, this whole field is going to be yellow, so down here might be like green. I might not even make it to the end of the row. I'm 45% full, and I'm actually filling up pretty fast. Watch the squad on my phone while I finish this pass. We're about to the end of the pass here, and yours improved a lot, but I'm actually going to start my headland going this way to see how it's going to be down here. The soil type down here is loam. All of this is silty clay. I think loam is a lot better than silty clay. We're about to the end of the pass here, and we're 68% full. In between two legendary numbers. But anyway, we're gonna start combining 85%, 87, 83, 82, 82, 83, 83. It's improved a lot, about 10% improved. That's not too good, but 83% yield is not bad. 99, I just got, wow, look at that, it's green down here. 97, 98, 97, 98. It's kind of sitting between 97 and 98. That is awesome. 109. I just hit a 109 yield. Look at that right there. That is awesome. I don't know why I'm so happy about one little stripe of green, but that is awesome. 97. I'm so happy right now. We might really be able to save this farm and turn this thing into a $1 million operation, man. Hopefully I'm not jinxing it because this is only the first field, but we're going to start cutting corn next episode and see how good a corn yield. But dang, look at that. That is awesome. How much is that? 110, 105. That is awesome, man. Jeez, that's awesome. Check that out. When you run over the Milo, it kind of like makes it smaller. That's pretty realistic. It looks a lot better than just having all tall Milo. These were already about to be full. That is awesome. We're going to pull off here, and we're going to go fill up. That is awesome. Yeah, we weren't even able to make it to the end of the row, at the end of the headland before we got full. So I'm just going to unload in the middle of the highway. I don't see cars coming from in front, and none coming from behind, so we should be good. We're going to continue this pass, and we'll make the new pass where I got full. GPS, man, when you enable and disable it, it sounds just like a John Deere GPS. That is awesome. My family's farm in real life, when they're combining, especially on open fields with no trees or anything, they leave their auger open so they don't gotta wait for it to open when they're unloading. We just made it to the end, and we're gonna start the next headland here. Look in the horizon there, you can actually see my cattle farm down there, which is pretty cool. Into the good part of the field, it's the good soil part. So 104, 103. Hold on, I gotta clip a thumbnail. Right when I get back to 100, I gotta clip a thumbnail if I do. Hold up. And we got a thumbnail, W metal. I can't really see right now, I don't know. I saw green at the bottom, but I didn't see what percent that was. I cut this field really weird. So I just ended up starting back on the first headland because I cut right down the middle of the field. Little dangerous here having our auger pipe out while on the side of the highway, so I'm gonna go ahead and fold it because I don't really want to get a ticket from a cop. Cops will actually give like a combine tickets that are combining right by a highway. I mean, I guess they might because like it could be a road hazard, but I don't really know how that works. I don't know if that's even ever happened before. A really cool mod. This combine's really realistic. Everything on the inside is like shaking and stuff and like jiggling. Wait, pause. Wait, we made it to the end of that headland, and we might as well just unload real quick. Oh, do I have manual discharge on? Hold up. Do I? So, I also might run back to John Deere real quick and see if I can add a bigger grain extension on the top, because I'm just getting full way too quick, especially with this good yield we have. I'm getting full just way too quick. And this is Lawson's farm. Check out this yield, man. That is awesome. That's 120% yield. I've never seen that ever in farm sim. This guy is making a ton of money. Just as expected, this auger wagon got full really quick because it's really small. So we're going to try to fit this thing in a bin, in a little elevator. I don't know why I said bin. We're going to try to fit this thing in an elevator and sell this and use our money to upgrade our grain extension. Totally not sitting in the middle of the road right now, but I'm actually gonna look at this. This thing right here. We can lease it for 550 bucks. We can attach this to our truck. Let's actually put a, hold up. Extension. 15-inch extension. We're gonna lease this thing. We're gonna go back to the farm, pick up our truck, and haul grain with this in our truck. That might be the most poorest redneck thing I've ever seen, but I mean, it'll work. Oh my gosh. I was rolling that whole time. I forgot to put my foot on the clutch, so I was just rolling the whole time. Gravity wagon picked up, and we're gonna go take this back to the field, and then have to run back again and pick up the tractor. Man, I hate running. We made it back to the field, and now we have to run all the way back to my house, which is across town. You can actually see my silo at my house there. We gotta run all the way over there, and I'm probably gonna die. Never again, man. I'm never running again. I'm just gonna buy an Uber. Oh my gosh. It's a lot slower on the highway since it's full of Milo. It would also be much quicker. If we ever got a farmhand, that would speed up the operation a lot, because we have to run back and forth, picking up equipment, taking it to the field, and all sorts of stuff. So we might actually hire a farmhand here soon. And we're in debt. John Deere just cashed in the check. It just went through my phone. We're now negative $38 in debt. Crap. I say, my mom thinks I'm a failure now. I mean, she's already thought I'm a failure when I bought a farm. That was $200,000 in debt, but now she thinks I'm more of a failure because I'm in debt. Alright, let's attach the PTO. And this should start loading. Hold on, is the tractor started? Oh, do I have to attach some hoses? Yeah. There we go. Now it should start unloading. There we go. We're gonna get this thing full. I don't know why my truck is so loud. We're gonna get this thing full. Head over to Montana Prairie Ag and Supply, best prices since 1909, and maybe get out of debt. The auger wagon is taking just about as long as the first ice age to fill up our gravity wagon. How small our auger is. The whole entire auger wagon about fits in this one gravity wagon. We definitely are going to upgrade an auger wagon as soon as possible. Alright, we made it to Montana Prairie Ag and Supply, and we're going to sell our first load of harvest. We're obviously not going to sell everything. We're obviously going to store it. But boom, look at that, we're already out of debt. Look at that. Well, that's actual hard-earned money for the first time. That money is not from a loan. That is from us. My gosh. We nearly just made 10 grand from one thing of this. And that's in October. These are the lowest prices. So when we put this grain in a silo, wait till January, which is usually when the prices are the highest, and come back and sell this, we're gonna make like 25,000 a load. I think like this might be the best harvest I've ever had. Made it back to the field, and time to get rolling on the combine again. Keep in mind that we haven't even completed 2 full headlands yet, and we already made about 10 grand. Definitely going to the bar tonight and getting a ribeye and drinking some old fashions. We got done with the headlands, so start the actual passes now. And wait, what is my GPS glitched or something? Why is there 3 extra rows of sorghum right here that's off the path? Hold up, I guess we'll have to do this pass first. Alright, we're starting the actual first pass because that last pass was only 3 rows of Milo, so this is technically the real first pass. About 90% full, so I ran back to the 7810 and we're heading back over to the combine to unload it. Combine unloaded, and I think I've made enough money now where I can hire someone to continually run the combine, so when I have to run back to stuff, the combine will still be running. We got Johnny in the combine, so we're gonna go back to the end of the field and get ready to unload him on the go. And we're unloading the auger wagon into the gravity wagon, and this setup actually doesn't look too bad for now, but we're gonna try to upgrade this setup as soon as possible. And we're unloading on the go. Alright, we're gonna top this gravity wagon off, and we're gonna go sell this load, and then we might actually look at leasing a semi after this, because this thing just gets full too quick. Already back to the elevator once again, and this should put us around 20,000, I think. And then we're looking at renting a semi and a trailer. Boys, that put us around 18,000. I think that's enough to start looking at a semi. Also look at upgrading our grains tank, because our worker Johnny here is just getting full like instantly. Did 3 or 2 passes, maybe 4, and then he's already getting full. That's, especially with the size of this field, that's just not gonna cut it. Can't really unload him right now because his auger is facing towards the crops. So I'll run those over, and obviously that's not what we need right now. We need as much crops as possible. Every single Milo plant matters. And he is full. Unloaded, and he'll get rolling again. And we're gonna go unload this into the gravity wagon. Actually, I think right now we're gonna head over to the dealership and look at renting a semi. There is a smaller semi dealership in town, so we don't have to travel to Billings, Montana, the closest town that has a Kenworth dealership. So we'll go take a look at that guy's dealership. I wish there was an actual dealership in this town, but there's not for semi, so we're just gonna look at it right here. The two I was thinking was this T800, which we can lease for $2,000, which is a stock. We can, I think, if we, y'all might think this is really weird, but I love the semi wheels like this, the rims like this. I don't like the silver ones. I just love them like this so much. Y'all might think that's the weirdest thing ever, but it's just a weird thing I like. The steel double holes, the steelies, I guess. I think you call them steel double holes, Alcoa. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll probably do something like this. Make it as cheap as possible. I'm willing to add a extra 200 to that to add steelies because I just love them so much. I think we're actually gonna get this Freightliner right here. This thing's a little bit more expensive, but it has a little bit more horsepower, and I just don't think this truck looks better. And I like Freightliners more, older Freightliners. New Freightliners are sucky, but old Freightliners are nice. So we're gonna get this guy leased, and we're gonna go pick it up at the local dealership. Somehow forgot the most important thing: a trailer. 62,000. That's not bad. I forgot we have 15,000, and we're in the middle of harvest right now. Obviously, we're gonna put the steel ones on them. I love those to death. I don't know why. I feel like everybody else thinks those are ugly, but I just love those so much. Alright, we made it to the dealership, and there's our beautiful Freightliner and our Jetco hopper. Fire this baby up. Oh yeah, baby. Put her in low. And we're rolling. Oh, I just scraped the side. That's fine. I don't know why, but I just love the look of this truck. I'm gonna buy a truck like this when I actually like make some money back. I'll probably get it actually buy a truck like this, not just lease one. But that should be good. Attach that. Attach the hoses, and we'll head over to that field. And before I forget, let's return that gravity wagon if we can find it. And we arrived to the field. I don't know how these tires are gonna do on this field. Hopefully I don't get stuck. I'm just gonna pull the truck right here and leave it. Hopefully I don't sink or something. I shouldn't, but put it back in neutral. She might take a semi-load of sorghum to the elevator to see how much we make from that. Crap. Johnny's at about 80%, so we're gonna have to fill this thing up as soon as possible and try to go catch him before he gets full. Okay, though, he is on the outside, so we're gonna be able to unload him. Alright, we weren't able to catch him, but luckily he was on the outside of the rows, so we were able to unload him pretty easily. But if I make a lot from this next load, this next semi-load, I might actually look at a new gravity wagon, or auger wagon, because if you go to our tractor, we have 175 horsepower. We don't have that much, but this requires 175 on the dot, so we might see if we can lease this. We can actually lease it right now, but I don't want to be blowing all my money because we still have a $200,000 loan to pay off. So we're gonna wait to sell a semi-load, and then if we have, if we have more than $25,000 from that semi-load, we'll lease that gravity wagon for this harvest. Or I keep saying gravity wagon, auger wagon. While we're unloading, let's pull up our computer here and take a look at yield. Yield is definitely way better than it was last year, but it's still not quite where I want it to be. So next year we're going to spray a little bit more stronger nitrogen on it, not just manure, because manure did about like 40 to 80 kilograms a hectare. I don't know what that is in the imperial system, but that's the metric system. So that was like orange. So it helped our yield, but not that good. So next year we're going to try to improve yield a lot better. To look at our nitrogen, the nitrogen is going over, it deletes all the nitrogen from the previous years. So this next year, like I said before, we're going to try to apply a little bit more stronger nitrogen than manure. Get this guy unloaded. That makes me mad that he's missing this right here, but I guess we can just do another headland around the field when this guy gets done. And we're unloading. It looks pretty cool unloading him in first person. We're gonna start unloading into the semi here. This load right here should fill the first hopper. I think the first hopper's full, so we'll back up to the second one now. The second hopper, and this should make us at least 15,000. Unloading, we're gonna take a look at our yield here. Right here, we had some really good yield. We had 105, a little bit of 110, 100, 105. In between 100 and 110, that is really good. Alright boys, we just unloaded the combine again, and we're about 91% full, and our tractor is actually struggling a ton to get this thing over there to the semi. Finished unloading the truck, and we're gonna try to catch the combine here. Come on. Please don't make it to the end of the row. I'm gonna at least unload him a little bit. Hurry up! Oh, hopefully we make it. We're good, we're good. Maybe unload him a little bit. Why is it not unloading? There we go, there we go. Don't stop, bro, don't stop. Bro. It's fine, I guess. Already, this load right here should top off the semi or get it pretty close. So we're just gonna go ahead and take the semi after we unload it here. We just topped off the semi, and we're gonna take this one load to Montana Ag and Prairie, and the rest of it is just gonna go in the grain bin. I don't know why I'm sitting at 30 FPS right now. I got an RTX 4060. I guess that's why so many people hate on them, because they kind of suck. Out to the highway, it's kind of hard to see. Hold up. I can't even run this on high with an RTX 4060, bro. I gotta upgrade my graphics card as soon as possible. Better, but I'm still sitting at like 35 FPS. Anyway, it's playable. We're gonna run this to Montana Prairie Ag. I think it's Montana Ag Prairie Supply. But anyway, best prices since 1999. Since 1909 on all crops. My daddy took his crops here. My great-grandpa took his crops here. My grandpa took his crops here. And now I'm taking my crops here. Kind of just runs in the family. After we unload here, we're gonna book it back to the farm with the semi. Or we're gonna grab my auger and take it to my other silo that's at my house since it's closer. Alright, we're pulling out of the elevator. It's actually a pretty cool thing. There's no scale here because the scale is actually on the elevator here. So we just gotta get lined up to where they can scan. Right there. And we'll start unloading. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. I told y'all if I get 25,000, boom, we already passed it. I said if we got 25,000 on this load, we would buy or rent a gravity wagon, and we destroyed that goal. I keep saying gravity wagon, auger wagon. Gosh dang, man. We might hit 50,000. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is for sure the best harvest I've ever had, man. We just got 22,000 income from this truckload. And then when we store this grain, let's look at the finances here real quick. If we store the grain, we can sell corn for $896 in July. We're literally at the lowest price right now. If we wait till July, bro, we're gonna be able to sell corn for $896 a bushel. AI Worker C, or Johnny, aka Johnny, has an 80% full grain tank, so we're gonna have to hurry up and park this and go try to fire up the Allistrometers. Right, I already know this thing's gonna need some ether. There you go. This thing is really dirty, but it should fire. Dang, man, that dash looks like a Christmas tree, but it definitely fires. Come on, it's an Allistrometers, of course it is. Johnny's full. Not quite sure this is legal to drive a 50-foot auger on the highway, but I haven't not seen a cop in the past couple of months, so it should be fine. The auger's set up, but I'm actually gonna have to lease something else. I'm gonna actually have to lease this for now, because we have a semi, and you can't really drive over this with the semi. First, we're gonna drive our dirt bike back to the farm, since our dirt bike is by far the fastest thing in here. We gotta drive this back to the farm and go pick up our semi. Oh yeah, baby, the cops ain't catching me. And that Milo out there is really taller than me. That guy must be getting some good yield out of that. We made it back to the farm, and we're gonna start up the semi and head back to the field. Pulling into the field here, and our combine is full over there, so we're gonna run back to the end of the field, pick up the auger wagon, and unload the combine. It's good. Put it back in neutral. and detach these. I don't know why I detached them. We gotta run back to the dealership. My least favorite thing to do, run. And take that drive over conveyor back home to where that bin is. Alright. We made it back home. Or, we made it back to the truck. And we're gonna attach this thing and take it back home. I really need to start hiring Ubers. We made it back to the house where this bin is, and we're gonna get this thing set up. Alright, made it to the field with my daily, and we're gonna drive back here, get in the auger wagon, and go unload that combine. Alright, we're unloading the combine. Boys, this video is probably gonna be pretty long, but that's probably gonna wrap it up for episode 1 of Milo harvest. Next video, we'll do a little bit more Milo fields and maybe get into corn harvest. I'll see. But anyway, I appreciate it. Anybody who watched through, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.